Hey, what's up, guys? Ronin Man here. I looked for a appropriate place to shoot this video, and this is the closest thing I could find. I was looking for something that looked like an absolute fucking hellhole, godforsaken fucking hellhole. This is a an old whore bar that went bankrupt, and now they're gonna tear it down. So I thought this is the closest thing I could get today, so we're gonna have to go with this. So this technique that I'm going to talk about here is to me, it's very, very powerful. I highly recommend it, especially if you have come from like a tough background, or maybe you had an alcoholic parent. Could be any number of reasons why you would resonate or why this technique would be good for you. And I think in general, MGTOW guys have been through some stuff. So try this on for size and see what you think. See if this is helpful. Right, so there was a movie plot, and in the movie, the hero is up in space. I'm not going to tell the name of the movie because I think a lot of the characters it was very SJW, and I think a lot of the characters didn't make sense to me. So I just want to tell the story in my own words and the way I see it. Right, so the hero goes up and starts to fight these fucking evil demons, and up in another planet, and they're like seriously fucking evil. Like they like go inside your body, they like eat you. Like basically the scene is so dismal that it's not like a funny gory movie. It's like a brutal fucking, oh my god, fuck you kind of movie, right? And so this evil fucking demon is up there, and the hero is there with doesn't know anything's going to happen. So they're very relaxed up there, and they got a bunch of people. Everything's fine. Suddenly, all hell breaks loose, and one by one, the people get picked off. So at the end of the first movie, pretty much everybody dies, or that we know of, except for the hero. And the hero comes back to Earth, and then the hero basically tries to tell people like what happened, but the stories are so weird that nobody can really understand like what the fuck he's talking about, right? It's like no one believes him, right? And I think anybody who's been through like a tough background, like if you have an alcoholic parent, or if you had, grew up in a violent home or a very violent area, or just had, like stuff where you just, like basically the rug was pulled out from underneath you, if you went through that kind of thing, when you tell people, and often, especially guys, like we don't tell anybody, right? We don't tell people shit. We're like, I'm fine. It's in the past. No big fucking deal, right? The problem is, things like this aren't in the past. They hang around and they affect us, right? So how do you deal with these things? And then you look at everybody who's doing some kind of fucking therapy or whatever, and it's just like total SJW crap that guys just can't relate to anymore. And they just don't know what to, guys just figure, well, fuck it, I just won't do anything, right? Right, so when you tell people, you say, hey, this happened or that happened, or, false allegations, you tell someone, hey, I didn't actually do it, this thing was bullshit, and everybody's just kind of like, yeah, right, And as a person who's going through this, the trauma is like triple fucking evil, because 1 minute you're going through the most hardest thing, and the next thing nobody fucking believes you, right? And that's the character in this movie, this story. So nobody believes them. So they go back and they're like, fuck, we got to get this thing done. We got to figure this thing out. So he finally gets a bunch of people to believe him, and gets a group of like, well-armed fucking guys to go back in to try to see what they can do to kill this thing. This thing's menacing. It's going to fucking destroy the planet. Shit's going to go down. This thing's not over, right? This thing is getting stronger, right? This fucking thing is getting only fucking stronger. So the hero's like, fuck, we got to do something. And even though he's blown off, nobody fucking listens to him. He's like, no way. It's not going to fucking happen. Not on my fucking watch, right? So he keeps trying. Finally gets the group, and they go back up there. Now, when they get there, it's just fucking dismal. Like, there's nothing left. Like, basically, there's kind of like no real, what do you call it? Like proof of what happened. It's just kind of like it's just all torn up and dismal, and nobody's there, right? So they're going through the rubble and everything, and they hear this little boy crying. Like that's what it sounds like. So they're like going in, and they finally discover hidden in this thing. Now the little boy's been there alone for years because it took years to go back. So the boy has been up there with this evil fucking demon all by himself. So of course the fucking kid is scared. So the kid, basically doesn't trust anybody. So he tries to, run away, and finally they finally get into a situation where they can communicate with the kid, and the kid does not want to fucking communicate because basically he was fucking left there. Like he somehow survived, but he fucking, they left him there alone, and he somehow fended for himself. And so he's like, fuck this shit, I ain't gonna do this again. So he's trying to avoid these people that are trying to help him. And finally what happens is, after a period of time, the hero takes the boy's hand in his hand. Now, the way to do this is, if you came from a very violent home, or a situation where you didn't have trust, like you got fucked over and there was nobody there to help you, to believe you. And at the time, I guess the best solution is just to fucking tough it out. And honestly, the boy that survived this, the boy that toughed it out, is the boy that is the reason why I'm still here on this planet. Because a lot of people, when they go through tough stuff, they don't fucking make it. That's why people die of drug addiction, they die of overdoses, they die in prison, they die in fights, they die in things like, I used to try to prove myself in a what do you call it? In a very in a situation where it was like extremely fucking dangerous and not safe. And what I was trying to feel some feeling is what I was trying to do, because I had shut down all my fucking feelings basically. And whenever I would put myself, and I talked about in that episode, a man proving himself, I don't remember the title, but I basically, I was trying to feel something. I was like, fuck, like it didn't feel shit. Like I'd be in fights, dudes with knives, I had no knife, guys with guns, fucking shit going down, and I was like unarmed, and I had like basically no fear. I didn't feel anything, really. I really didn't feel anything in the moment. Now afterwards, I would always have like extreme fucking fear, so my heart would beat whenever I think of the story later. But at the time, I just completely was nonchalant, and same when I used to race motorcycles. And so it took me a long time to realize, and a lot of help from a lot of fucking good people, until I realized, holy shit, like what happened to me and how I reacted, and also like having gratitude for myself for surviving, like that boy that fucking made it, right? Like he fucking made it, right? And that's why we're all here. We made it through whatever we fucking had to make it through. And so the hero takes the boy's hand in his hand, and then there's a scene where you can see the tiny little hand in the big hand. Now it didn't make sense because obviously years have passed and all that, but I think it's more powerful the fact that the kid's hand was small. It's like, oh man, like, don't you? So think back to when you were a little boy, and a picture of yourself, or some scene, right? Before everything went down, when you were just like totally innocent, right? You were fucking innocent as fuck. You had no idea what was happening, and you were just trying to fucking have a good childhood, right? And then the shit went down, and so finally the hero, like the boy doesn't fucking trust the hero. The boy's like, fuck you, right? Fuck you, and fuck everybody, and he doesn't even want to be. He's learned how to survive now, and he doesn't need any fucking help, But actually, he does need help, right? He needs a lot of fucking help to live a normal life, right? Not to survive, but to live a normal fucking life and a healthy life, where he does the things that he is capable of, and lives the life that he wants to live, and it's inside of him, and grows to the size that he needs to be, right? And gets the skills, and also stops fucking sabotaging himself, right? So the hero says to the boy, says, you know, I will never leave you. And the boy's like, doesn't fucking believe it, right? I mean, his face doesn't believe it, right? And so the story goes on, and then finally what happens is, in fact, the evil demon basically gets the kid again, and the hero loses the kid. So the kid is now what do you call it? Like held hostage, and shit's going down, right? And so the hero fucking gets the guns and the flamethrowers and the fucking machine guns and the you know, anti-aircraft guns and the stars and whatever you can imagine that the hero fucking gets, and comes back in and fights it out with the demon. So basically he gets the boy again. And the boy says to the hero, I knew you'd come back. You know, I knew you'd come back. So I think, to me, when I heard this story, it was like I realized, like, I gotta be my own fucking hero. You know, I gotta go in and save the little boy. This might sound like bullshit to you. You didn't go through hard things. But if you went through tough stuff, I guarantee right now, you know what I'm talking about. And so you got to save yourself, because what a lot of guys are trying to do is they're trying to get someone else to save them, right? They're trying to like make people understand, like, hey, this happened or that happened. And, you know, it's like, fuck all that, man. You got to go in. You got to go in and save yourself. And also, one of the biggest problems that guys have is that they don't trust themselves after all this. Why don't they trust themselves? Because you're not trustworthy. You say you're going to do something, you don't fucking do it. Now, I'm not talking about discipline, like fake discipline, doing shit that you don't want to do. I'm talking about stuff that you want to do, right? Maybe you know you have a problem with something, right? You know, for me, I knew I had an alcohol problem, and I had to deal with that. Now, abandoning myself would have been just saying, it's too hard, right? You know, and also I quit nicotine too, which was not easy, actually. Nicotine always comes back, but I've been off now for quite a while, and it's been good. It's been very, very good. And so part of becoming a man, becoming a strong man, is when you stop, you know, you realize that you are the one abandoning yourself. You know, you're the guy doing it to yourself now. And that's why you don't even fucking trust yourself. You do not trust yourself to be there for yourself. Think about it. Look inside yourself. Is it about other people? Or is it about yourself? When you need that, do you believe yourself? And are you there? You know, do you come in with the fucking guns? And that's what I want you to do. And that's what I did for myself. I hope this has been helpful. You know, for me, after I heard this fucking story and thought about it, I fucking cried for a whole day. I fucking lost my mind. It was one of the most powerful stories I ever heard. So I don't know if I did justice to tell the story, but I hope that was helpful for somebody out there. And I hope you guys have a great day. Anybody wants to work with me, just click on the Unblackmailable link below. I've been through a lot of shit myself, and I really enjoy helping guys. So anyway, look forward. Anybody's coming to the summit, fuck yeah, come on out. I just got a couple messages. So, you know, I look forward to meeting you and seeing you and hanging out. You know, it's a great chance to talk about things and to be more like fucking, you know, the whole thing becomes real when you actually meet people, you know? At least that's been my experience. So anyway, guys, hope you guys have a great day, and I am going back to the land of the fucking living. All right, guys, take it easy.